Welcome to the Mailright Real Estate Show, episode 123. Today, coming to us live from Wexford, Ireland, we've got Samantha Cayley, the tweeting goddess. Well, Samantha, I almost got everything pronounced right, but welcome from Ireland to Reno, Nevada.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here.
And we have Jonathan Dinwood, of course, from WP Tonic and the Mailright SaaS product for realtors. And me from The Wizard. I just do all sorts. I have 4 podcasts, but I also have a school I'm developing right now. It's going to be up to 2 Half Success. And anybody who tonight comes on and signs on with a domain, they're going to be offered a free membership for the beta testing. And that'll for the first course, and that'll follow. So that's why I'm so busy today. And my wife stopped me for like 45 minutes and asked me to work on her website. So
well, there we go, Bill. Right, Samantha, it's great to have you on. So what we would like to discuss is social media in general related to how agents and brokers might be able to use it more effectively, and especially Twitter, because you are the Twittering goddess. So, let's start off. I speak to a lot of agents and a few brokers recently, and they understand Facebook, but very few are really using Twitter and really understand it. So what do you think they're missing? And can you give a couple broad frameworks how they might be able to use Twitter effectively for their business?
Absolutely. And you're right. A lot of people are afraid of Twitter. They seem to get a bit confused by it. When Twitter really... When I started using it, all I started doing was talking to people. I started talking to people and engaging with them. And really, that's all Twitter is about. It's about engaging and building a network of people around you. So if you were starting out on Twitter and you were in real estate and you wanted to build a community around you, you need to find people who are in some way associated with what you do, or are other business owners, or are other people involved in housing in some way, or in hotels, or in some kind of building, architects, whatever, because they would have a slight interest in what you're doing, but also they would know other people in that kind of business. So really, I would surround myself with people who are like-minded and get what you're doing and get your passion. And then that happens just by you putting into the search box. You could put in the search box, you could put in real estate, you could put in keywords into the search box on Twitter, and you'll start finding these people. And then all of a sudden you'll start finding articles. And when you start finding articles, you'll say, hang on a second, I should be writing articles like this. So really it's to show you that you are the expert in what you do. So the best way to do that is to start writing blogs or articles on your website, tweeting them out. People, if they like them, they'll engage with you. They'll retweet them out again. They'll say, oh yeah, I really like that, or oh yeah, that's an interesting point. And there you go, you started your conversation up. So keep it going, and that's how it works, really.
I get the initial impression that you kind of link a reasonable Twitter strategy with having some reasonable web presence, either a blog or a website blog, and having regular content. So
absolutely, yeah.
So having a pretty static site where you're not putting new content, and the new breed of real estate agents, brokers understand that. I feel they clearly understand that they're in a marketing exercise, whereas maybe some of the people in the industry for a long time that haven't realised that, haven't really tweaked that fundamentally what agent broker is 50 to 70% is involved in marketing. So that was a bit long, but I just wanted to say that. But what about industry? So you put these on and you see getting a following. So is there any kind of other methodologies that you follow to try and build up an audience?
Well, I would follow other people that are in business, because other business owners will support other business owners. And it's all about people. If someone likes you, people buy from people. So if somebody likes you, they are going to support you. So the biggest thing I would say is start following like-minded folk that are also in business, that also want to raise their profiles on Twitter, and start assisting them with retweets and stuff. Don't underestimate the power of Twitter video or Twitter photographs. Start putting pictures up of where you are. Look at this beautiful place. Look where I am today. Look at the autumnal colors. You'd be amazed how much more effective a picture is. And especially, we want to see behind the scenes. We're so nosy. We want to see what's going on behind the scenes. So like a video on Twitter as well. And it's very simple to do on your phone. You can actually have Twitter on your phone and click the video and tweet it out on Twitter. You can do a 30-second video, and that's so effective if you want to show what you're up to, where you are. And the more impressive these videos are, and the more, you can actually start using Periscope and doing Periscope and show yourself as the real estate guy or the real estate queen.
Can you talk a little bit about Periscope and how that's built up?
Yeah, well, I'm not an expert on Periscope, I have to say, but I do find it very effective if you're trying to create a profile from nothing, just by doing these videos and talking to people. People want to see a bit of the human side of you. So if you are an accountant even, you could do this. It doesn't matter. No offense to accountants, sorry. But you know what I mean? You could actually, it doesn't matter who you are.
A different breed, Samantha.
Well, there is a guy called Chocolate Johnny, for example, on Periscope. He has a chocolate shop in Australia.
Oh, I thought he wasn't an accountant.
He is just amazing. And he just talks about the chocolate. And he's getting orders from all over the world just from having a personality, talking to people, doing these Periscopes. I mean, you could be the real estate guy or the real estate queen, whatever. I mean, I'm called Tweeting Goddess. I mean, I could have called myself Rosslare Harbour Social Media, but I didn't. And the Tweeting Goddess it kind of attracts more people to me, because they're like, who's this one? Who does she think she is? But it doesn't matter because their people are talking about you. So if you can start raising your profile on Twitter as, the real estate, I'm sure there is someone called the real estate queen. I'm sure there is, or something like that. You just build that reputation, because the first person that's going to be in their heads when they have a house to sell, or if they have something to sell or rent or whatever, they're going to go to you. They're going to ask your advice.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. But how do you deal with, the real estate industry is in some ways a very conservative industry. They're dealing with a high, it's the biggest purchase in most people's lives.
Yes.
And some of the property in my own area is extremely high value. So we're talking substantial purchases here. So, so there seems to be a stress between them wanting, rightly to come across as professional and being the queen agent or agent queen, whatever you just said. So do you regularly have that conversation, and how do you deal with that understandable reluctance maybe to go down the road you just described?
I understand totally, because even I had a solicitor, lawyers, a Twitter account, and they were like, how are you going to make us sexy? And I was like, well, that's easy. That's so easy, because all you have to do is start writing about what it is you're an expert in. So it could be a story about, like, for example, a story about the renovations, what happened, the story, and the things that went wrong and the funny things that happened. It could be something as simple as that. It's still going to be interesting for people, and it's still going to show that you know what you're talking about. You've been there. You know how you solved the problem, how the problem was solved. So you bring the story, crisis, struggle, resolution to the story. It's going to still make you look good. It's going to be more interesting because there's a human side to the story. And then also, like with solicitors, for example, their target market was small businesses and charities. And I said, well, why don't you just create a hashtag on Twitter, which is a chat that people can join in every week at the same time. So they were based in Belfast, so we created a hashtag called Belfast Hour.
Good idea.
And that's one of the top trending hashtags in Ireland and in the UK as well, because it's Northern Ireland, right? But the thing was, all these people were coming here at the same time, all the people in their target market. So what you would do, like, who would your target market be in the real estate? It would be these key people, or whatever kind of price range you want to get into. You could create an hour talking about another aspect of real estate. It doesn't have to be real estate hour. It could be if you wanted, but I'd make it a bit more quirkier. Can you give me an example of the target market there, Jonathan, that I could kind of come up with a name?
Yeah, this is because my wife works in this industry, and we're actually in California and her here. We've both been brokers 25 years. So, for example, our target market is a little higher than actually Californian places. We have a lot of homes over 500 to 1 million. Then up around the lake, it's 1 million to 2 or 3 million, which is a lot of money in the United States. My wife has $1 million open house this weekend. So the target market varies. That conservative concept, most agents are conservative in their approach. The agency that my wife works with here, we have our own agency in California, but here in Nevada, we're at Chase, which is kind of neat. They all wear the black turtlenecks in black, and they sort of came out of the Steve Jobs look, the broker. So they do have a little bit of new era, I would say. What do we call it? New wave look. And a lot of people like them. And another thing, too, is we have a lot of retirees from Silicon Valley and somewhat L.A. rich areas come up around the lake. So we have a lot of, those type of people are really special. So they're unique, but they get it, I think, on the social media, and they always check references, or they have kids or family checking references. So
this is it. Exactly. You just said it there, right? The kids, it's like,
and their kids
they want to look out for something for mom and dad as well. But also because they're retired from whatever industries they're retired from. The over 50s, by the way, is the highest growing demographic on Twitter at the moment.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Have you got any insight why that might be, actually? That's fascinating.
I do. We all bought our mums iPads for Christmas. And then also a lot of people have emigrated and they want to Skype with the grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And they have to learn how to use Facebook to keep in touch with the grandchild who's a teenager, and keep an eye out for Mammy. My daughter's gone. Once I went on Facebook, she was gone.
I've got girls who are 13 and 15 gymnasts.
Yes.
But they will not, I don't think, they're barely on Facebook, but they have Snapchat and all sorts of things that I didn't know about.
Yep. Well, you see, what I was saying earlier is what I got sidetracked there a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. When I was saying about the hashtag, you could create a senior hashtag, like not a senior, but seniorpreneurs hashtag or something. That's a good idea. That. You could target. There are a lot of seniors and retired people starting their own little businesses as well, or staying in touch at least. So even these people that have retired from Silicon Valley, they're still going to be interested in what's going on in the world. So if you start tweeting out stuff, great news for Silicon Valley investor, blah, blah, blah. Idea. If you're putting out stuff like that, they're going to be interested in that. So they're going to say, God, this one actually knows her stuff and she knows a lot about what I'm interested in. So if they're financially secure, the daughter and son are also going to be keeping an eye out on things. But if you want to attract just that over 55s, you could create, the grey note? What do they call it? The Silver Surfer Hour.
Hey, would this be too generic for my wife, KarenConrad.com? I put up her website too. That's her blog site. Would KC Reno and KC Tahoe be too generic?
Yeah, I would have.
Let me see. Okay. Is this the Karen Conrad? Is it?
That's her website. Like that's her blog site. Yeah, she is 3/4 Irish. Family is 100%.
Really?
Yeah, her dad's 100% Irish. Mom's 50. They're from Boston.
Ah, yes, yeah.
First generation.
There's the Irish-looking lady there.
She definitely got red hair. So that's the black that they wear.
Very good. Now, if I click that tweet out, tweet that out. Yeah. See, the Twitter share buttons should be on every blog post as well.
Right, it is. If you open
I'm not a website.
If you hit the top address, it'll open up a Twitch site for that. So it'll open up a Twitter site there. And if you hit, what's really neat, if you hit that picture of the flyer, it'll open up really fast. It should open up pretty fast for you. A whole bunch of stuff about that property. That's all my stuff. That's all my blog stuff I set up. I do. That's one of my side things.
Okay, she's using hashtags. That's good. So I would be using those hashtags. Lake Tahoe, yes,
Okay.
very good. I would also start using hashtags. I would start using other hashtags to get in touch with those seniors. She can do it a Twitter advanced search to find keywords as well. There's so much I can talk about here.
Yeah, sure. Maybe can you, before we go on to some of the tools, and I want your opinion about retwittering other people's tweets. What's the right balance? Basically, can you just quickly explain to people about hashtags? Because that's a thing that really, when you start saying hashtag to a real estate agent, it's not used. They just look at you
it's a drug.
They look at you like got two heads or something. So can you give a quick, what is a hashtag and why are they so important in the world of Twitter?
Hashtag is if you want to fine tune your audience. So let's say today, let's say I wanted to fine tune, if I just wanted to find people who are talking about Ireland, if I put hashtag Ireland into a tweet or hashtag Irish, if you click on that, you will find every single person who has mentioned the word Irish or mentioned the word Ireland. Now you can also go into the search box on Twitter and just put in a hashtag, like there's Irish Biz Party is a hashtag tweet chat that I created. There's also, you can create hashtags. Hashtags, like if you think of it as you're going into a different room. So you're on Twitter and you go into this separate room, which is only going to be talking about real estate. So hashtag real estate, if you click on that, that could be a tweet chat, or it can be just a hashtag that people use.
So
travel.
Yeah, let's see if I've got the concept for our viewers, our real estate agents and brokers. Basically, Twitter's a constant stream. You use the hashtags to kind of divide that stream into subject areas that you might be interested in. Is that about right, Samantha?
Exactly, yeah. So you're fine-tuning your search as well. You're fine-tuning your tweets so that they only hit certain audiences. But, your own followers will see your tweet anyway. But other people that are outside of your followers are more likely to find you if you use certain hashtags. A very busy hashtag, by the way, is travel.
Yes.
So maybe ask Karen to try that one maybe someday.
Travel.
Just see what happens. Travel,
Is there any kind of tools or is it inbuilt in Twitter that shows you the most popular hashtags?
Oh, there's loads. You can use Hashtagify me. See, I don't really use Twitter tools because that's my unique selling point. I am there and I'm live and I'm there. So that if people talk to me, I'm there. But I do know that Hashtagify me is another one. You can actually search for popular hashtags. There's Twubs, TWBS.com. There is, you can find what hashtags are popular, but really, just ask me. That's the best way. Travel is great.
I'll get all my agents to Twitter, Samantha. What hashtag should I be using? So, a couple of tools that I initially used to build up. I was pretty methodical. I used to do this every day. I've backed off there, and I'm trying to encourage myself to actually engage a lot more with my Twitter following, which I haven't done really, but I plan to do that in the next coming months. Is I use Tweepy and I use friend or follow to see who's following me and who isn't. If I look at your face, Samantha, you're not really into those either, are you?
No, I'm not. And I'll be honest. And the reason why I'm so successful is because I don't concentrate on all these little tools. I just concentrate on being there and engaging with my audience and talking.
Wow, I've been trying to.
For some people, sorry.
I've been trying to figure it out, and I have like 5 or 6 Twitter sites just playing with them to see what they do. And I have one with a lot of people on it, but like. I've used those tools and the quality of the people on it aren't very good, of course. And then the more pinned down ones seem to have better folks. So how many followers, what should a real estate agent have for the number of followers
I don't think you.
I'm just. What do you think on that? If it's a small following, they have some social credibility, or what point do they need like 100, 200? And I've got thousands on some of my sites, of course.
Okay. Do you mean on Twitter?
On Twitter,
Like,
yeah. If an agent has like no followers on Twitter, then they don't have much social credibility.
No, it doesn't look good. But are your target audience on Twitter? So are your target audience on Twitter? Yes, they are. The age demographic on Twitter are aged 35 to 55, and the highest growing demographic are the over 55s.
Wow.
Now, this also is because now let's be honest, there is an element of loneliness when you do retire, and a lot of people do go online to meet other people and to network and stuff. So that could be another reason why the over 55s is quite is growing so much. But if I saw let's say I see two real estate agents and I see one has 20,000 followers and one has 500. I'm just going to go and see what the one with the 20,000 is doing. That's making a difference. Now, I would also check to see are the followers real.
Yeah.
Because there are people that buy followers, which is just a complete waste of time.
They should be executed. They should be executed, Samantha, shouldn't they?
Oh, there's a question here, actually. Is this Karen? Oh, that's Karen. Yes,
no, that's another Karen. She
Karen.
She was on Timelines. I have an interview show, and she was on Timelines as a real estate. She's from Kansas City. Go ahead. What's Karen saying? She's very she's very socially media tuned, and she does well. She does her whole business via social media.
And actually, I like what she's saying here. So, Karen, you're very welcome. What do you think of creating your own branding hashtag to make sure people who see your tweets know you sell homes? I heard someone talking who includes home sale. Yeah, that's fine. But make it a bit more. I was thinking of using Karen sells. What's it say? Sorry, something homes.
Karen
St.
sells.
Louis homes.
Yeah. That's
STL looks a bit like ST something else. Okay, so I would stay away from that because you'll get the smart people on Twitter trying to. Well, for example, I have Twitter Magic. That's my hashtag. Well, it's not my hashtag. You can't.
That's the point I was going to
ask. I like it. Twitter Magic.
Yeah.
That's. So if I see. Yeah.
Can I just say? That's the other point I want to make. You might be wrong here, so you confirm it. Is that a hashtag? You have no ownership of that hashtag, do you?
You can register. You can register a tweet chat on twubs.com. I'll just put it's TW. If someone can put it, it's TWBS twubs.com. You can register a hashtag, but no one really owns the hashtag. Other people use Twitter Magic.
That has no legal. What you just said has no legal.
No.
But I'm sure there has been and there will be. There's been a lot of argy-bargy about, and it's a bit like names, isn't it? Twitter names.
Yeah. I've had people copy mine. Look, it's yourself. There's people out there. I'm just thinking of Karen here, though. I would like to see Karen do something like Karen sells homes.
Yes.
Keep it simple, like.
Yeah, I think
like Karen will sell, or she doesn't sell homes everywhere. Okay, that doesn't matter though, because if you're going to, it doesn't matter if you put the hashtag has to be creative and stand out from the rest. Okay, so we need Karen to stand out, and if Karen, like Twitter Magic, it's kind of my personality. I'm like a bit, but if I see a good connection being made on Twitter, and I see a sale happen, I will hop in and go, there you go, Twitter Magic. And then people go, oh my God, Twitter Magic. And it just gets them all excited. And it's such a childish thing, but you know what? It works. And some people say it's airy-fairy, but you know what? It works. I'm the one with 26,000 followers on Twitter. I'm the one that has written a book, Tweet Your Way to Success. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so don't mind what other people think. If you're the one that's going to attract the people that really like your personality and like you, people are going to buy from you. And like there's another one I did, Fab Blab. I just made up that one as well, like for when I'm on Blab. And
wow.
It's just all I'm doing is commenting, but it makes people laugh. It connects with people. But yes, I understand you're a little bit more serious with the real estate and stuff, and I understand that aspect as well. But I would make Karen will like Carol will get you results. If you could think of a word like that in a hashtag, that would be better.
Say it again. She's in St. Louis.
Yeah.
So
it basically it needs you need to understand it. It can be a powerful tool, but you also need to experiment and think about and talk to people and see their reaction to it and maybe adjust. But it's not exactly. It becomes something of worth. I'm surmising this, Samantha. It becomes something of worth because you regularly utilize that and you build a following and you're linked to that hashtag. And if somebody else, after you've established it, somebody might try and start using it. But what's the point?
Someone has already. Yeah.
But in a way, what is the point? Because you've kind of established the branding linkage.
And the other people can see, exactly. Other people can see. Carol sells, Karen sells homes.
Yeah.
I like Karen sells homes.
Yeah, I think that's to the point, and also they got to understand it's not in stone, and as long as she keeps utilising that, and in her area builds up on that, it'll be fine, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. You see, your hashtag is that the chance of your hashtag trending is very, very, very slim, but you could just have it, the reason of hashtags as well, by the way, is to actually target a larger audience. So if you put up a tweet and then put a really popular hashtag that's trending at the moment, like for example, the Web Summit is on next week. So if you put a tweet out with an article saying, top ways to make the most of Twitter hashtags, and then you put hashtag Web Summit in that tweet is going to travel much further because there are going to be 30,000 people in Ireland for the Web Summit next week.
All right.
For example. So that's what you would use hashtags for as well, is to get to a bigger audience. Karen, I'm just going to put in here as well for everybody, actually, Twitter Advanced Search. If you want to find people on Twitter, I'm just putting the link in here for you. So this is how you can actually target people that say certain words, that say certain things, that use certain hashtags, everything like in there. So have a look at that later.
Nice. Advanced search.
Yeah.
So Karen, you could find people in St. Louis, but you see, a lot of people in St. Louis, aren't people moving into St. Louis?
No.
So shouldn't you be targeting people, like you could be targeting people in Ireland that want to move over there?
Well, that's where I totally agree with you, Samantha. That's what I was saying to Bill about in the Lake Tahoe, there's another area called Truckee.
Yeah,
there's a number of second home, holiday, upper income areas where a lot of people from the Bay Area, from San Francisco, buy a second home, the investment property. And where the advanced tool would come into place is looking for the most trending hashtags around your industry or subject, maybe in those areas, and then utilize the hashtags to show your Twitter feed to a broader audience that wouldn't see it locally. That's why I feel you're so right in what you've said, because it's such a powerful tool, isn't it? For a very little, for a reasonable, obviously your time is money, but not for enormous investment. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, but I'm just reading Karen's tweet. Sorry, her comments here. I'm targeting locals who are moving or selling and leaving the area. Okay, that's fine. So you're targeting people who are thinking of leaving the area and who are moving. So moving up maybe, or leaving the area. Let me think now.
Yeah, so I think what we do, Samantha, Bill, if you agree, Bill, is we unlock the seat, and if Karen wants to join us.
Yeah, Karen.
I already asked her if she wants to join. The seat's open. But I was going to say, real estate agents in America, at least, the key is to have listings, because you get listings, then you find the buyers. So you want the quality listings. So, Jonathan, also, you need to keep back from the mic a little bit. Your gain's up too high, like last time.
All right.
So I put that earlier. So what you want is listings. So you want to try to target the people that own homes in a geographical area, ideally. So you have what we call personal farms, the people you know, and you also have geographical farms, like a city, town, community, things of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say you were agent in Reno, in the Lake Tahoe, and you were trying to attract an audience in the Bay Area and San Francisco, Samantha. So can you just give a quick landscape if you were that agent in Lake Tahoe and you were trying to get people from Lake Tahoe, from the Bay Area, from San Francisco? How would you utilize Twitter to do that?
How I would do it would be lots of pictures, and lots of video, because you have to connect with the emotion of the person as well. Why would they go there? Maybe they need a bit of peace and quiet and calm in their life. They're ready to retire. They're ready. You have to think about the customer. So if you're putting up a nice, quiet picture of the sunset, imagine coming and seeing this every day.
Oh, good idea. Nice, simple.
You know, yeah.
And we have gorgeous sunsets here. They're amazing.
Yeah. Or, the sound of the crickets. I don't know if you have crickets. So I don't have crickets here in Ireland. But
a lot of crickets here.
You could do a little video and say, imagine sitting here with your cup of tea and with your partner and have a swinging chair or something. There's so many things that this is the vision of people. Don't forget my vision when I retire is sitting on that what do you call it, veranda, looking at the sunset, listening to the crickets,
So maybe write out who your target audience is.
That's the first thing you need to do.
Have a broad strategy about what I call the tonnage of engagement. So everything you send out has a kind of rough, a lot of images, mix it up with some video that you do yourself of maybe properties that you're going to sell for people, other things around property that might be of interest. Get those. Also,
create a picture in their heads first, you could actually write a blog post and say, I remember, make up a story, or no, not make up a story, but a real story that's even better. I know my dad, all he wanted to do was sit in the garden, watch the birds, drink his tea and smoke his pipe. That's all he wanted was peace and quiet, no hassle. No hassle, no stress, just to sit and read. So if you can think of the potential customer, what do they want? What are they looking for? They want a nice, quiet place, a safe place where maybe the grandchildren can visit. So when you're in the kitchen, you have a photograph of the kitchen up there, I think Karen, or someone did, sorry, that I was looking at there. So picture, put the hot chocolate on the kitchen counter and say, right, it's time for a hot chocolate now. Isn't this kitchen absolutely gorgeous? Imagine being in here on a Christmas morning.
So what I think you're describing here is, which a lot of agents don't do very well, is you're actually trying to induce a emotional response and a lot of agents, they just put kind of glossy pictures of the house.
The pictures are great. The pictures are great.
What you're saying is
story.
Be a story and try and utilize images that might induce in your general branding a kind of emotional response. So I just want to finish off with a couple of quick things. So depending on how many people you're following and how many people you are following, Twitter's a continuous stream. So I think I do use a scheduler and I mix it up with, I'm trying to mix it up. So I use the scheduler, but I also jump in and do some myself. And I'm also trying to encourage myself to actually respond and engage with people. But we must be realistic here. Agents are very busy people. It's a very dynamic industry. And sometimes, but you do also need consistency. So do you advise people that are not hiring somebody like yourself, but are still trying to do it themselves? Would you advise them to use a scheduler? And how it's probably impossible to answer this, but how I think most people underestimate how much content they should be producing, but which I think is quite honest. They don't let the standards drop. It's got some relevance to what they're about. Would you agree with that?
Okay. Yeah, I would. A blog post every 2 weeks, and that could be simple as the top 5 locations that people are flocking to now, the top 5 safest areas in blah, blah, blah. It could be how to ensure you find the right real estate person. A lists are great. People love lists, okay? And then what you could do is tweet-wise, that's for your website, sorry, but tweet-wise, I would always do at least one tweet a day at the very least, okay?
At the least. At the least,
at the very least.
Bare minimum, isn't it?
Yeah, bare minimum, yeah. So the very, very least. But I for my clients, I do 10 tweets a day.
Yeah.
And I also do engagement, interaction, retweets, all that kind of stuff, getting involved in conversations. But the main thing is, if you can only do a certain amount of tweets per day, B2B, the busiest time is between 1 to 3 p.m., so lunchtime. So if you can only do a tweet at that time, or if you can only do a tweet between 9 and 11 p.m., that's when I started out on Twitter. The kids have gone to bed. People are either lonely or they're starting to do a bit of work to catch up on because we're spending time with the kids. So think between 9 and 11 p.m. Now, your target market will have more time on their hands, but they're still watching primetime TV between 9 and 11 p.m. And a lot of people on Twitter comment on programs that are on the TV. So I would recommend you, if you can only go on at certain times, the evening 9 to 11 p.m. is the busiest time on Twitter.
Right, Samantha, I think we've covered we've covered hashtags. We've talked about some general strategy about the content that could be appropriate. You've given some ideas to some of. I think it's been a great show. So how do people contact you, Samantha, if they want more goddess information about Twitter?
Tweetinggoddess.com is my website, and I'm on Twitter at tweetinggoddess.
She really is, folks. She responds to her Twitters a lot more than I do. She really is on Twitter. So, the Wizard, got any final questions, Wizard?
No, I'm sorry about the start today. We had a unique setup. We do a lot of shows, and this is one that's sort of developing, the real estate show. Jonathan does. What Jonathan does, he's developing SaaS products, software as a service for real estate agents. He's got MailRight, which has his reputation management is what he's working on right now. You really didn't talk about reputation management in Twitter. Is there any relationship there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, Do you want me to say something on that?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Well, the first thing to do is acknowledge the tweet. So if someone says something, acknowledge it straight away and take it offline to direct message. And then you say, look, can you give us your contact details? We will be in touch with you. And then do ring them or do email them or whatever. But the first thing to do is to acknowledge them. If you ignore them, they'll get louder and louder and louder. Yes,
yeah.
Will.
Yeah, so acknowledge them, get back, acknowledge them, say thank you, and then take them offline to a DM, direct tweet. Correct.
Just say, I'm sorry to hear you feel that way. Can we direct message you and get more details about what happened? Because your people watching you will say, oh, well, at least they got back to them. And at least they're doing something about it.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It won't, you not in every circumstance, but I think, we all make mistakes and we all, but it's the way you handle problems and mistakes is the way you're going to be judged.
How you react.
Is the way you're going to be judged, isn't it?
The best 3 words I can give you. Think, before you react.
Not something we often do. We are pretty emotional creatures, aren't we? Especially when we are under pressure. I thought that was a great point. So thanks, Bill, for that, because I think reputation management and Twitter is, and a lot of companies and haven't handled it very well. But on the other hand, it's there, so everybody can see it. It's more difficult. People can be a bit judgmental. But I think it does become a problem where it just continues and you can actively seize a company digging a hole for themselves, not with 1 or 2, but a constant stream of mistakes. That's when it becomes a more bigger problem, doesn't it, Samantha?
I know, and that's when they really regret just having the little intern on the Twitter instead of having a professional like me run the account. And that's why that's why people outsource, because sometimes they know, look, I need to have someone on this all the time, keeping an eye on things.
And you speak throughout Europe. you get out and speak? I see you speak on TV and media. Sorry.
I do, and I'm actually organising a social media summit in Ireland, in Dublin, on 2nd of March.
Oh,
nice.
So, so there'll be lots of people coming over for that. So,
I'm sure they will be. It sounds terrible. Sounds awful, doesn't it?
Awful. What?
Doubling in March.
There might be Guinness. There might be Guinness. You know, you never know.
What is it? Overcast and cold in March?
It doesn't matter. The people are warm.
It's really green. I know some flying over it and flying in and landing. It's a very green country. Nice.
Very green. Yeah, it's actually, I wouldn't live anywhere else in the world. The fresh air. If you want fresh air and rosy cheeks, you come to the right place.
That's true.
Right, thanks, Samantha, for you being a great guest. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think we've covered some interesting. I think Twitter really is a big mystery to a lot of agents. I think one of the things, I'm no expert, I'm increasing my knowledge in it. I'm more of a Facebook person. But I do think Twitter in real estate will become a more dominant presence. And I think it's an underused tool in a lot of agents' arsenal and getting out their branding and their individual message. So thank you so much for giving some real insights into it. Like I say, because so many agents find Twitter a real mysterious animal. So I think we're given some tips and clarified it. So thanks, Samantha.
Stay on for a
second. Would you mind if I just told people about my Twitter online workshops?
Of course.
I just launched them yesterday.
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
So I'll just put the link in the blab there. So it's just I'll put the link in the blab there. So just if you know anyone that does want help with that, if you could just spread the word about that. That's my Twitter online workshops for beginners to intermediate. So I only launched them yesterday.
I will put it in the post notes and I will talk about it, Samantha.
Thank you.
And if you like, Samantha, let's say goodbye first.
Let's
close the show and talk offline for a second. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye, folks. Twitter. Bye.
And of course, we're back, and we have one last question. Actually, two. Samantha, how did you discover and why did you get it on Twitter in the first place? And then the second question is, what are the profiles of the people who actually are very active on Twitter?
Okay, well, I started out on Twitter because I had a small business idea myself, and I didn't have a marketing budget. I was a lone parent at the time, and I didn't have any marketing budget. So my sister set me up on Twitter, actually, and she went, there you go. And I was like, okay, what do I do with this? I barely had a Facebook page. I hadn't a clue. And I just started talking, and I just started following people that I liked and admired, like, entrepreneurs and, Richard Branson and people like that. And then I started following women I admired. And then the conversations just happened. But I was just lucky. When the kids went to bed,
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
We got an Ireland stop there. That's interesting. That's an instant too. Why do you think? Well, she's off right now. That's a first. I'm in the middle of. Why do you think? Why do you think this? I was blocked. There, she's back. That's a first. So Samantha, we're back, and we have not one last question, but two last questions. And the first is, how did you get into Twitter in the first place? Why are you there? And the second question is, what are the profiles of the people who are on Twitter, the key people, especially the people who you target? I shouldn't say target, the people who you follow or want. I don't know. Targeting, I was in the military, so targeting has a connotation. Hang out with. That's better.
That's fine. I started because I had a small business myself. I was a lone parent and I didn't have any marketing budget. My sister set me up on Twitter. I hadn't a clue what to do with it, but I just started talking when the kids went to bed between 9 and 11 p.m. at night. I actually, to be honest, I was a little bit lonely, so I started just chatting to people. It was kind of my social life. So that's how I started on it, and then I just got really good on it. And then people started asking me, how did you do that? How did you get these followers? And how are you using it so well? And all I was doing was talking to people. I didn't realize I was building relationships. So then, as regards to people on Twitter, I learned very fast that the people that are on Twitter, the demographic, like it's professional, urban, more educated as well than, for example, Facebook. I also find that a lot of them have been through stuff. and they talk a lot about, they're more compassionate, I find, so the emotion, if you can talk and hit the emotions of the people on Twitter, they're more likely to respond, and they're much more likely to retweet or share your stuff than people on other platforms, I find.
Oh, very good. That's a good way to finish up for that one last question. Hey, Jonathan, we're back for just a quick wrap up between you and I. Hey, this is why I love this Blab platform. I got to do a commercial first. This afternoon, late tonight, go up to 2havesuccess.com, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to allow at least 20 people to have my course for free, and it's the beta course. So they'll be watching me build the beta course. They'll have access to the site where I'm building the course, and they'll see the courses as they come up. I thought it was a great idea. And then it goes on sale. Actually, it's going to be eventually $79 an element. But it's all going to be about netcasting. And one of the elements of netcasting is taking a blab and turning it into a podcast and a YouTube. So I think it's a good deal, especially for free for those people that come up. I want to find out people, but they got to give back. They got to say, hey, where could we fix it? Where could we improve it? So tonight, but tomorrow morning, I'm going to cut that off. It'll be to have success. So I have to work my tail off in between interviews today to get that page up. It'll just be a basic page. What I'm doing is I'm testing out how you sign on, and then you'll sort of see me dropping in the courses as I'm building those and modifying them with a PDF. So I think it'd be great ideas. I just thought about that. I thought about it last night while I woke up and said, man, this is a great way to develop a course, is have freebies initially.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, that's my ad for this show. You got an ad you want to put in at the end here?
No, I just want to talk about what we discussed. And
WP Tonic, the SaaS product for real estate agents?
Not WP. No, you're getting all confused, Bill.
WP Tonic.
We're talking about Bill right here.
Every real estate agent should go to WP Tonic,
no,
though, because
they don't want to know about WordPress, really. So let's just talk about what Samantha said and give a general finishing comments. And I'd like your feedback as well. So I think that, the advanced search, the conversation about the power of hashtags, I think most agents aren't aware of how effective hashtags can be used as a search mechanism to find the type of clients that they want to join on Twitter. And, that's a side that's not really talked about. And I think a lot of agents and brokers are not aware of that. And I personally don't know. I think it's not one factor. I think it's a combination of factors why Twitter is off the radar for a lot of agents, and why the emphasis is so much on Facebook. Because don't get me wrong,
Facebook's not that good now, is it?
No, I disagree. I think Facebook is fantastic, but I think Facebook and Twitter, you're covering, they are they're called social media, and I understand why, but actually I think they're two very different animals, and they have two very different cultures, but they still are it's a difficult, because you've got a couple others that are building up, but they're still two of the biggest ways of getting out a message, but I think if you're an agent and you just want to Twitter out the latest property that you got on the market, that is not going to appeal to the average Twitter user, which Samantha described: educated, tech savvy, high income, which is a great audience that agents should be wanting to target. But you've got to understand these people are more sophisticated, and just not spending the time on engagement, building up a following, checking people over, you're not going to get very good results by just posting listings. And maybe and I think that really applies to Facebook as well. But really applies to Twitter. Maybe that's one of the reasons why a lot of agents haven't got their mind around it. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, I I tell you, the top agents have assistants, and the assistants are a little younger probably, and they're learning real estate. Maybe they're licensed, and they understand Twitter somewhat, and they understand social media. So your top agents all do use Twitter to some extent. I was fascinated, though. I still learn, and I thought about it. I can help Karen a lot because, Karen, we're in the 50s, and Karen, I've been in technology my whole life, design, build, construction, military, heavy technology, and it's easy for me to adapt, I think. But for her, she's good at, I don't know, she's been in technology, she's been in real estate. They use, they use stuff, but the social media thing is still a face-to-face personal relationship because they're really trying to find people who own homes that want to list them. That's the most important thing a real estate agent has to do is get listings. You get listings, you're going to have premium buyers. In fact, most teams have a listing agent, which is the main owner agent, and then they have assistants who do the open houses and show properties. So they are looking at ways to target homes, and the way you target home is direct mail right to the home. But every piece of direct mail should have your website on it. But sort of Twitter, I tried to play around with some Twitter tags. Like I live in Mayberry Meadows, which is in the foothills of Sierras here, and there was nothing for Mayberry Meadows, no hashtag at all. So if you go around a neighborhood, maybe get a hashtag going.
Yeah, I think if you're an agent in this area and you're selling property that might be of interest to the Bay Area and to the San Francisco, I think definitely using the advanced search and finding hashtags that have some linkage to your to property in some way that's got a decent following, that's got decent level of activity, and then just adding a couple of hashtags to your Twitter posts means that those Twitter posts will be broadcast to a much larger audience, Bill.
Right.
So it's not an enormous amount of additional work, but it could make a big difference if you've got the type of properties that you're trying to market that would be of interest. Then that applies to a lot of places in America where you got people out of state or out of town, out of city that might be a target audience, Bill.
Right. Now, I don't know how much you'll find other real estate trainers talking like we're talking about hashtags. I'm thinking about that, especially some of the old ones.
Well, like I say,
I'm thinking about that out loud. It's funny.
If you want to be relevant, unless you've got a very established book of business and very strong local relationships, which top producers do have, you got to move with the times, and you got to understand how to get your message out, that you're active, you're the agent that people should contact, if they're interested in selling their property. It's really that simple, really, isn't it, Bill?
Yep. Well, Jonathan, this is going to be a long, long, long day, like most days are for these solo entrepreneurs, people setting up online courses. It's a long day. I've got an interview with us Pointer. Anybody want to come on? It'll be on this platform. Just type in Bill Conrad. It'll be on at today at. Let me first of all turn this off. It's going to be on today. 11 o'clock. I'm going to pause recording. Say goodbye.
Bye,
and it was Samantha. Love you, Samantha. Thanks for coming on.